What's up everybody, Jay here. You want some more World of Final Fantasy tips? Well, too bad you're getting them. Here we go. This time, I want to help you out inside Chapter 11 and the Valley 7. And this time we're looking at capturing 2 Mirages. The first one, I'm going to completely butcher the name of because this thing is crazy. So, here's how you butcher it, and then here's how you spell it. This is the Mimiocolossalysis. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce this one. That's the spelling right there. It's basically a white sphinx. Now, you can capture him later in the game. I think it's about 3 chapters from now. But I think he's important enough to try to capture right now. The second Mirage we're going for is probably my favorite Mirage up to this point of the game, and that is Phoenix. So first, if you've been to Valley 7 yet, you already know it's actually a rather large dungeon, and if you haven't been there, prepare for it to take a little bit of time. With that in mind, there are a lot of little side paths and a lot of extra treasures, and we are not going to cover those in this video. I'm going to kind of get you from point A to B and then to C, which is save point and then the Mirages. But if you want to get some of the extra treasures, you'll want somebody who has Smash with you, and they're kind of easy to get if you still follow the path I'm going to give you. Everything is kind of attached to the few main paths. It just takes a little extra time, and you're probably going to have a lot of fights. Alright, so first let's look at the preparation here. As you've already seen, this place is filled with fire stuff, from the decor to the Mirages. So you either want to bring lots of fire resistance or lots of water damage. Second, before you start taking every fire Mirage out of your party, there are going to be a couple puzzle switches in here that require fire resistance. Now, you don't need to stack your party right now with fire resistance. You can do that after the save point, but you at least want to be able to cover 4 weight and 50 resistance to start with, because you're going to have a couple puzzle switches early on that need that. The puzzle switch later on requires 12 weight and 150 fire resistance, so that's why I'm saying maybe we'll do that after the save point. Third, you're going to need chill on one of your smaller Mirages. Now, if you have Blizz, he can learn that. If not, the little penguin from the Icicle region can learn it. If you don't have him, you might need to go back and grab him real quick. At this point of the game, there's only a couple Ice Mirages that can learn it, so you definitely need to go grab one of those. Fourth is that you need some sort of poison attack. The easiest method is to go back to the vendor in town and go get some Poison Fangs. Now, the route I chose to go with was to eventually bring my right claw with me, who has a poison attack. Neither way is right or wrong, but Poison Fang is probably the easier route to go, so you can bring whatever Mirages you want to. But for fun and experimental reasons, I brought the right claw instead, and you can do the same if you want. And then the last tip for preparing is to make sure that you either have an X potion or an elixir. So make sure you either have one, both, multiples. You don't need a ton, so one of each or 2 X potions, whatever you kind of have so far in the game. Just make sure, if anything, you got one, because that would suck to get to the Phoenix and not have it. Alright, so now that we're prepared, let's get going. So from the start, you're going to just be going down until you get to the forks that go left or right. You're going to go left and eventually get to 2 puzzle switches that you have to activate. This is where it's just 4 weight and 50 fire resistance, so if you brought somebody like Ifrit with you, he covers it easily, and you can get right through those, get the item you're going to eventually need for a Gimme Golem. Then you go back to the platform that had the forks, go down the little path, and the Gimme Golem's going to be there. You give him the item, and you're good to go. Keep heading off to the right, and you're eventually going to get a cutscene with Rydia and the Fire Whirl. After the cutscene, Rydia's going to run off, and you're left with only going one direction, and that is up to the left. When you get here into the third section, you're actually going to see it split into 3 ways, left, up, and right. The one you want to focus on first is to the right. Keep following the path all the way to the upper right, and you're eventually going to get a fight with some bombs. After the battle and the cutscene, Rydia is finally ready to go back to the Fire Whirl. So head back down to the left and back to the second section of the dungeon. Once you can get past the Fire Whirl, head off to the right. In this section, just walk straight forward and you're going to run into the save crystal. So after you get to the save point, now's the time to set up your party. Remember, you need poison in some way, shape, or form, so if you're like me and you bring Right Claw or you bring Poison Fang, it doesn't matter, but you need your party set up for that. And you need to remember that you need 150 fire resistance with 12 weight. And you definitely want to make sure you have that now, because walking all the way to the Merc Rift fight and then having to walk back to the save point or having to, waste a transponder kind of sucks a little bit, so might as well just bring them now. And if you're looking for a little bit of setup advice on what to bring for the 150 and the 12 weight, I brought the baby Frit, I brought a Mimic, and I brought Ifrit. It covered about 200 fire resistance and put me at 13 weight, so it was really easy. And if you've been following my other guides, you've been able to pick up a Frit and an Ifrit, and you were able to pick up a Mimic back in Chapter 8. If you don't have those, you can easily take a bomb that you've probably caught in here. The Cockatrice works too for the medium position. Ifrit or the Red Dragon is probably what you're going to have to use in the large spot though. So once you have all this stuff set up and you've saved again, we're heading back down. When you're in the other section, walk right past where the fire roll was and back up to the left. Now you should be back in the room with the 3 different paths, and this time you are going off to the left. As you make your way around, you're going to get to a chill spot, so make sure you still have your ice guy with you. And then head up to the next platform, where up the path you are going to see the Merc Rift. Now inside the Merc Rift, you are going to fight 3 of these white sphinxes, and unfortunately, they do come with 2 abilities that kind of suck, especially if you went with the right claw route. They use a great sandstorm that can blind you, and unfortunately, the poison attack from the right claw is physical, so that can slow you down a little bit. But the other major thing that they bring is Doom. And trust me, that 30-second timer goes by real fast. So you can go about this 2 different ways. You can either try to poison one right off the bat and try to capture him, which is what I did, or you can try to kill 2 of them and then capture the 3rd one. Whichever route you decide to go, either use your Poison Fang or a poison attack on one of them, get the trigger to go, and then just start trying to capture them as quickly as you can. Thankfully, if you're still using your water party, like I brought my shark, these guys are weak to water also, so it definitely helps for burning down the other 2. And there you go. Hopefully with a little luck, it didn't take you much to capture a Mimicolossalysis, because thank you Square for that name. So there you go. Now you've got this Sphinx who's really good for defense, and sadly that's about it. If you look at his growth rates and his stats, he's big on health, defense, and magic defense. His strength isn't the best, so you pair him with like a magic pot and you've got a huge defender. But I like bringing him for that great sandstorm because it's a good AoE and a good way to blind people. That and trying to cast Doom on anything and everything is kind of fun. So once you're done with that fight, just keep going up the ramp. It's only a few steps and you get to the next puzzle switch. So load up the 3 fire resistance Mirages you brought with you and you're good to go. So once you have the puzzle switch down, this bridge will open and you can move on to the next section. Walk across to the next platform. So walk across the platform and there he is in all his glory, Phoenix. So the trick to triggering Phoenix is you have to heal for a lot. It doesn't matter if it's on you, one of the other Mirages, or Phoenix himself, but you have to heal for a lot. And unfortunately, it's not till way later in the game that your health pool's even close to high enough to equate to that big of heal. Fortunately though, Phoenix's health is. He carries about 10,000 health, and 1 elixir or 1 X potion is going to heal all of that. Even if he's already at full health, you can still use it on him. So as soon as the fight starts, use an X potion or the elixir on him. And if you're lucky like I was, you'll catch him in 1 try. Now Phoenix is great because he can actually replace Ifrit if you want to in your fire setup, because not only does he come with fire abilities, he comes with ways of reviving people. Not only does he come with the regular rays, he comes with Flames of Rebirth that deals fire damage to the enemies, and it revives any fallen party members. So it's Firega or Blaze mixed in with a Phoenix down. And if you mix him with anything like the Flame Turtle or with Frit or any other small fire Mirage, you unlock other stack fire abilities, which just makes it even better. And there you have it. 2 Mirages, 1 real rare, the other one you can't get for a few more chapters, but it's nice to have around. So hopefully you enjoyed this, hopefully it helped out. Like I said, I love the Phoenix. If anything, if not one of the best early summons you can have, he's one of the coolest looking. I love the look of him when the fight's actually over. So hopefully this helped you out. If it did, leave a like, maybe even subscribe. I'm going to have more tips for World of Final Fantasy, other gameplay videos coming up from other games, the Final Fantasy trading card game. I've got another series coming out, stuff here pretty soon. that's a little bit more on the adult side. Looking at a couple games that are a little more mature-ish. I've got my Call of Duty Battlefield and Titanfall 2 analysis coming up here pretty soon. And anything else that I decide to put up, because, hey, my channel, I'll put up anything. But if you want to see anything in particular, let me know in the comments below too. Like I said though, hopefully this helped you out, and I will see you in the next one. Later.